Under Moscow City Code, we prohibit open containers of alcoholic beverages as any public places or any place or places open to the public unless council authorizes or it's permitted by law, such as when we allow beer gardens at our community events downtown in the central business district when they do the street closures, or even at the rendezvous in the park events. There are certain events where council will special resolutions to allow that. What I would like to talk tonight about is about tailgating at the University of Idaho Vandal football games. The city is aware that during these events, there are some people that like to consume alcohol as part of their tailgating activities. And right now, with the university in kind of flux of not knowing if they can have tailgatings there or not, if they're prohibited from having alcohol there and we enforce our open containers laws, I think our biggest concern is that people will move to a different location to do their tailgating activities, and then we'll put the rest of the public at risk to drive back to the community or back to the event. So the amendment today in front of you would exempt the area around the Kibbe Dome on home football games from the hours of 10 in the morning to 10 in the evening. So that's what you have tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, I think it's a good idea to keep them corralled there. It's going to go on anyway, one place or another. And this just provides less conflict between practice and law. And I think overall it's a good idea to have this put into place.
I'd say one more thing, too. We did talk with the university before we proposed this. They didn't come forward and ask us to do that. They're not proponents behind this. But I talked to the general counsel today, and he thinks that it's a common sense solution to this issue.
I would also note that general counsel was at the administrative committee when this was considered as well.
From the university.
Yes.
Walter. In the packet, there is a drawing of the campus, and a red area is marked out.
Correct.
That's a lot more than the Kibbe Dome lot.
But there's no residence there. It's also included the place where people camp. So it covers most of the parking lot.
It includes the Hartone. I mean, it's hard to read the map. I mean, it's the way it's turned and all that.
Well, it's just the street. It's 6th Street all the way down and goes up Rayburn, Perimeter.
So it includes the Ag Building?
It includes what's commonly known as the law school parking lot.
Parking lots.
Okay.
6th Street north to the east-west portion of Perimeter Drive.
Okay.
From Rayburn over to Perimeter Drive to the west. Does not include the facilities parking lots.
John.
Yeah, it looked to me when I looked at this, and then I was at the administrative committee when we said it should move forward. I think that what happened is that was drawn around the streets, and you've got a border to the north on 6th Street, to the east on Rayburn, and then it goes into the Perimeter Drive that does encompass the parking lot. And most of the area is not where anybody's going to be drinking anyway, because a lot of it is too steep, especially on the south side. But I think having it bordered by streets makes a lot of sense.
It makes it easier to define it.
Pardon me?
Easier to define it.
Yeah. That's exactly, I mean, I'm in favor of this. I think we can that way turn the Moscow police, instead of having to turn a blind eye to something, they can now do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, I agree with John. It removes the ambiguity for our police officers, and I think that's a good thing. Yeah.
With that, I move to approve the ordinance amending the open container law.
Keep going. Keep going.
I'm sorry, that was, under the suspension of the rules requiring 3 complete and separate readings, and that it be read by title and published by summary.
Second.
Sorry.
Okay, we have a motion by Catherine and a second by Gina to approve the ordinance amending the open container law under the suspension of the rules requiring 3 complete and separate readings that it be read and titled by title and published by summary. Start to roll with Walter.
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and this is resolution, or ordinance 2017-08. An ordinance of the City of Moscow, Idaho, a municipal corporation of the State of Idaho, providing for the amendment of Moscow City Code Title 10, Chapter 1, relating to the exemption to the open container prohibition on certain event days, providing that the provisions of this ordinance be deemed severable, and providing for this ordinance to be in full force and effect from the date of its passage, approval, and publication according to law.